are established in two huge leaks to the news media this weekend from people inside the Trump administration who apparently want us to believe that Donald Trump is caught somewhere between doing a very bad job as president and doing no job at all. The information in these two leaks is historic. And we can't say that about every leak from Trump world, but these leaks will be cited by future historians of this period when they describe how Donald Trump did his job or failed to do his job as president of the United States. Someone who works for President Trump decided to leak his daily schedules to Axios. According to the schedules, there are work days when the president is scheduled for about 1 hour of work. And that so-called work is not what most workers in America would consider work. For President Trump, work is simply sitting and talking and sometimes listening. There is no minimum wage worker in America who gets to call that work. That's what most American workers do on their day off. That's not what high school students call work. Serious high school students spend many more hours a day working than President Donald Trump does, according to his schedules. Serious high school students spend several hours a day in class, intensely paying attention and taking notes, and then spend more hours on homework. They spend hours studying, they spend hours reading, but even serious high school students don't work as hard as Barack Obama did in the presidency, putting in 10-hour days routinely of briefings and meetings and study sessions, only then to take home a mountain of homework that he had to master. And of course, President Obama was the best speechwriter working in his White House, and so he also did far more writing than most presidents. But Donald Trump has now turned the presidency into, if not the easiest job in the federal government, certainly the easiest elected position in the federal government. Of course, any job is easy if you're willing to fail at it. And that's what President Trump has done, according to a new poll today that shows America does not believe Donald Trump should be reelected. 57% believe that Donald Trump is a failed president and should not be reelected. The one way to follow the presidential campaign from this point forward is to keep that number in mind. 57% who believe Donald Trump should not be reelected, which matches the 57% in another poll who say they definitely will not vote for Donald Trump. Keep that 57% in mind every day of the presidential campaign and ask yourself, what did Donald Trump do today to change the minds of about 20% of those people who have decided to vote against him? Because that's what Donald Trump has to do to win re-election. He has to change the minds of people who have already made up their minds that he does not deserve re-election and that they definitely are not going to vote for him. Well, Donald Trump did nothing today to change any of those minds. And these leaks from inside the Trump administration this weekend will do nothing to change those minds. One of those leaks reinforces the image of Donald Trump as a reckless man in a job where recklessness presents a danger not just to Americans, but to the world. John Walcott of Time magazine, who will join us in just a moment, obtained accounts of President Trump's approach to intelligence issues. In his report, John Walcott said, senior intelligence briefers are breaking 2 years of silence to warn that the president is endangering American security with what they say is a stubborn disregard for their assessments, citing multiple in-person episodes. These intelligence officials say Trump displays what one called willful ignorance when presented with analyses generated by America's $81 billion a year intelligence services. The officials, who include analysts who prepare Trump's briefs and the briefers themselves, describe futile attempts to keep his attention by using visual aids, confining some briefing points to 2 or 3 sentences, and repeating his name and title as frequently as possible. And leading off our discussion